as J.D. Vance is just flailing and screwing himself in the Trump campaign, and Trump is screwing himself in J.D., Governor Walz is doing some brilliant, very tactical campaigning. So one of the things that Governor Walz has been doing over the past few days that isn't getting a lot of attention is he's reaching out and speaking to a lot of these frats, which in colleges, which for whatever reason, these kind of frat bros have been kind of pulled in the direction of Donald Trump and MAGA through all those right-wing podcasters. And Governor Walz is going back to them and saying, hey, look, Donald Trump's misogynism, Donald Trump being a sexual predator, a criminal, and a felon, that's not alpha. Don't listen to all that crap. At the end of the day, if you want to know what's alpha, it's being a good person. It's treating people with respect. It's not punching down at marginalized communities. It's lifting people up. It's intelligence. It's thinking. It's being smart. Here, watch this by Governor Walz. Play the clip.
This guy was undecided, so is this guy, and they're both coming out for you.
I think I'm decided now.
Matters. So I took him to the debate watch party, and that just flipped like that.
Yeah,
I mean, they were apathetic, and that's, you know.
It's not about agreeing on every single issue. It's about that core belief. And I said, this whole idea that you can't agree that the election was fair, this whole idea that people should have personal freedoms, which is kind of like the politics are turning over. Yeah, nice meeting you all. Yeah, really grateful you take the time again. Yeah, thanks. Go get them. Talk to your friends. Some of them are just going to say, look, I'm not that into politics. Yeah. The answer to that is too damn bad. Politics is into you. So get engaged, go vote. Hey, thank you so much.
You know, one of the underrated parts of some of these recent polls that we're seeing, like the ABC Ipsos poll, when you dig in, is that Vice President Kamala Harris is getting support from about 45% of white people. Now, that may sound like, oh, well, whatever, but that would be the biggest shift since like 1976. And with all of the other constituencies that the Democrats have reached out to and who support the Democrats at significantly greater numbers, creating this coalition of pro-democracy, compassion, empathy, true love for our Constitution, that could be a game changer right there. On the other hand, one of the messaging that Governor Walz has is that what J.D. Vance is doing, take a look at just some of these comments. Here's J.D. Vance refusing to condemn Laura Loomer for her racist statements that the White House would smell like curry if Vice President Kamala Harris wins. Play this clip.
So don't think that this is actually an issue of national import. Is Laura Loomer running for president? No. Kamala Harris is running for president. And whether you're eating curry at your dinner table or fried chicken, things have gotten more expensive thanks to her policies. Let's talk about.
And here J.D. Vance straight up admits to making up the eating cats and dogs host to get the media to talk about immigration. Here, play the clip.
The American media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I start talking about cat memes. If I have to, create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana.
You just said that you're creating a story.
Public policy.
Sir, you just said that you're creating the story.
What's that, Dana?
You just said that this is a story that you created. So the eating dogs and cats thing is not.
Dana, it comes from firsthand accounts from my constituents. I say that we're creating a story, meaning we're creating the American media focusing on it.
On the other hand, you have Governor Walz giving extraordinary speeches like this.
This is important. This is important, and you all know it. Because look, we all deal with it. Friends, neighbors, family. Oh, I like Donald Trump. You know, I don't really like how he swears and gets convicted of felonies and found liable for assaulting women. I don't really like that. Good, I'm glad you don't like that. But then they always go, I like his proposals. Which one? Taking your health care? Forcing women to bleed out in parking lots because they can't get health care? Tax cuts for billionaires? And I say this, if you're a billionaire and that's all you care about, he may be your guy. But if you're a working class person, a middle class person, a community member, I can't find much there. And the thing is, you don't have to look very far. He's not giving you much detail, except it's really great. They made it easy for us. They printed 900 plus pages in Project 2025.
And then you had Governor Walz say this.
Here's what I'm most proud of. I'm proud with our side of things. While Donald Trump spent his time whining, crying, grievance filled. Oh, they did me wrong. They did me wrong. It's difficult to be born with millions of dollars. It's difficult to not pay your bills. It's difficult to have the Supreme Court say you can do whatever the hell you want with no consequence. Apparently that's difficult for him. Kamala Harris spent no time doing that. She talked about you, and she talked about the future. She talked about the future.
Now compare that to J.D. Vance's disastrous speech in Atlanta, where he was saying we need to really tone down the rhetoric right now. Here, play this clip.
But I do think that we should take this opportunity to call for a reduction in the ridiculous and inflammatory political rhetoric coming from too many corners of our politics. Look, we can disagree with one another, we can debate one another, but we cannot tell the American people that one candidate is a fascist, and if he's elected, it is going to be the end of American democracy. We cannot, as a person affiliated with Kamala Harris has said, that we need to, quote, eliminate Donald J. Trump. A New York Democratic congressman has said that in the past. If you tell the American people that this person is the end of democracy, if you tell the American people that this person needs to be eliminated, most of them, thank God, are going to ignore you, but some crazy person is going to take matters into their own hands and actually listen to the crazy rhetoric that you're putting out there.
Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs and gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workout, sleep, and even stress management. That's why I love it. All you have to do is you breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll know what's going on in your metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs. Then Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements. You can also breathe into it before and after workouts and meals, so you know exactly what's going on in your body in real time. And Lumen will give you tips to keep you on top of your health game. Your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into fuel that keeps you going. Because your metabolism is at the center of everything your body does, optimal metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, etc. Lumen gives you recommendations to improve your metabolic health. It can also track your cycle as well as the onset of menopause and adjust your recommendations to keep your metabolism healthy through hormonal shifts, so you can keep up your energy and stave off cravings. Look, I love Lumen, and I know you will too. So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to Lumen, LUMEN.me/Meidas to get 15% off your Lumen. That is LUMEN.me/Meidas for 15% off your purchase. One more time, go to lumen.me/Meidas, LUMEN.me/Meidas, and get 15% off your purchase. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode.
Really, J.D. Vance, you want to tone down the rhetoric? Because here's what Donald Trump was saying at the exact same time. Play the clip.
No votes. She got no votes. But she'd be very bad for the country. We have to save our country. We can't play games, and we can't have a Marxist, communist president, because that's not what it's all about. So we're going to do it, and we're going to.
Or then when J.D. Vance was asked whether he would veto an abortion ban, or whether Donald Trump would veto an abortion ban, he goes, I learned my lesson. Here, play this clip.
Just to put a fine point on this, you're saying he wouldn't support it. So would he veto it?
Kristen, I think that I've learned my lesson on speaking for the president before he and I have actually talked about an issue.
And here's what J.D. Vance said as well. Here, play this clip.
And I know it's popular on a lot of corners of the left to say that we have a both sides problem. And I'm not going to say we're always perfect. I'm not going to say that conservatives always get things exactly right. But you know the big difference between conservatives and liberals is that no one has tried to kill Kamala Harris in the last couple of months, and two people now have tried to kill Donald Trump in the last couple of months. I'd say that's pretty strong evidence that the left needs to tone down the rhetoric and needs to cut this crap out. Somebody's going to get hurt by it, and it's going to destroy this country. somebody is going to get hurt. And you think about what an incredible wound it would open up in the United States of America, all of us. And I promise I will do my part to tone down the rhetoric, but in particular, the people telling you that Donald Trump needs to be eliminated, you guys need to cut it out or you're going to get somebody hurt.
Now compare that to Governor Walz.
In her entire professional career, she's had one client, the people. The people. And she says this, in her entire career, prosecutor, attorney general, senator, vice president, she never asked Democrat or Republican. She asked, are you okay? And what can we do to make things better? So look, we were in Pennsylvania on this bus tour. This was really great. We old school. We're getting on these buses and we're going into red areas and we're talking to anybody who's out there because look, let's just be honest. And she knows this better than anybody. We were looking out at a crowd of supporters and there was a whole bunch of our supporters with signs just like you. And we're all excited and really great t-shirts, by the way, up front here. And then on the other side of the street were folks who weren't our supporters. It's easy to tell. They're all in the same hat. As I always say, a group of independent thinkers on one side of the street over there, ready to go. But she turned to me, and it was just Gwen and I and Doug and Kamala Harris. And she turned around to me and she said, Tim, never forget, we fight just as hard for folks on this side of the street as folks on this side of the street.
A lot of people who I was talking to said that, one of the things that Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Walz should do is they should do outreach to, young males who, for whatever reason, have been pushed towards this MAGA stuff by a lot of these right-wing influencers. And remember, we told you that Donald Trump did that weird interview with the butt-sniffing guy, that Aiden Ross or whatever the guy's name is, who sniffs the butts of people. I just think it's important also to not let MAGA try to claim, their masculinity or this or that. I just think that what I like that Governor Walz is doing and speaking to young men also is saying, look, treating, your neighbors with respect, treating marginalized communities with respect, treating women with respect, treating all people with respect and equality, and not punching down and not mocking people and not being mean and not being rude and being smart is what really matters. So I think you see the contrast there at play. And then you've got Donald Trump out there giving speeches like, here, play this clip.
You saw it.
Or Donald Trump talking about golden showers in high schools, and urinating. Here, play the clip.
He was with 4 hookers. You think that was good that night to go up and tell my wife, it's not true, darling. I love you very much. It's not true. Actually, that one she didn't believe because she said he's a germaphobe. He's not into that, He's not into golden showers, as they say they call that. He's not. I don't like that idea. No, I didn't. I thought that would be a big problem. I was going to have a rough night, but that one she was very good on. She said, no.
Again, what is that? What the heck? That's not alpha or cool. It's some weird stuff. And I like that Governor Walz there is doing that outreach anyway. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million.